Sousa Show. Sports team.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today. At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
It is the Pete Sousa Show, and we are here. We're live, by the way. We are at Sykora Family Ford of West, and if you look over my shoulder right here, I'm working a new deal right now on a 2025 Ford Bronco. You see that thing? That is hot pepper red. It's got the Sasquatch. I mean, we are tricked out here. We are ready to go from Sykora Family Ford, obviously one of our presenting sponsors, along with Slovacek's. Also like to thank Crawford Austin Properties, D1, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, and we couldn't have a better setup here, by the way. We're basically right in the middle of the showroom. I got Brian Sykora just staring at me right here. We got the whole crew. We are ready to go, and there's a ton of traffic coming in and out trying to take advantage of some of these deals. One of the things I want to talk about, too, December 24th, Christmas Eve, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., the pancake breakfast is here, right, Brian? Santa will be here?
Yes, Santa's here. Yeah, Santa and an elf. We have an elf that works part-time here. He's very popular at this event as well.
I can promise you the elf is not me. I'm too tall to be the elf. But they're already ready to go. Santa's fire truck is getting ready. I think it's going to go out and pick him up. He's going to call the Uber. It'll come grab him on the 24th. And here we are at Sykora Family Ford. And again, really could not have a better setup, especially for a high school football fan like myself. Right now, we've got La Vega duking it out with Carthage. This is the Division II 4A championship happening right now, so we can keep you posted on that. 14-7 right now. Carthage has the lead, but La Vega is driving. It is that time of year, all kinds of playoff football happening, and that's where we'll start today. Tonight's big games. Oh, by the way, second segment, a couple more items I want to get to. Second segment, we're going to have Paul Catalina join us. Obviously, Paul of 365 fame also has the Triple Option Show. We're going to talk to him about some of these college football playoff games. The number one thing to get into when you're talking about the college football playoff game is tonight's game. That's where we'll start. 7 o'clock Central Time, local time here in Central Texas. You can watch Indiana and Notre Dame. One thing you can watch, too, up on the Rogue Media Network feed, Sawyer Robertson, obviously Baylor's quarterback, spoke to him probably about 3 weeks ago. That interview now is up on our feed, thanks to our friends at GXG. So a great opportunity to get to know Sawyer Robertson. I felt like I was super lucky to be able to sit down with him. That's a guy who leads with faith and has that entire football team behind him. They are getting set to play their bowl game, the Texas Bowl, on the 31st of December. They're going to take on, that's going to be an absolutely huge game. They're going to take it on LSU. That place will be packed. It'd be cool to see LSU fans travel to Houston, as you know they will, and hopefully Baylor fans will get out there too. But the opportunity to talk with Sawyer Robertson was a real treat for us because, what's up? Look at the camera. Who's saying that? Zach? Is that Ben? That's Ben. Okay, we got Ben on site. I need all the direction and all the help I can get. So Ben's like, hey, buddy, look at the camera over here. I got so much going on. But no, you can check out that Sawyer Robertson interview. It is up now. Rogue and GXG partnering with Baylor in order to make that happen. And Sawyer Robertson is a special kid. And it was a privilege, like I was saying earlier, to talk to him because nobody really has gotten the opportunity to sit down for him or with him for about 30 minutes and not only find out where he found the resolve to bounce back from a rough start of maybe you'd say his college football career, right? This is a kid talking about Sawyer Robertson. He goes to goes to Mississippi State to play for Mike Leach. Obviously, tragedy ensues. Mike Leach passes away. He's trying to figure out where he's going to go to school. Dave Aranda and Baylor, extremely appealing to him. He comes to Baylor, plays a little bit in his first year behind Blake Shapen because Shapen gets hurt, but really not something that you would write home about his initial year. And then this year, he stays with the team in camp. He battles for the starting job, does not get it, ultimately is able to earn the starting position and turn the entire football program around. And now he's one of the hottest players in America. And the question we're talking about is there a chance where this guy might even leave school into the transfer portal? From what I've heard talking to people around the school, that is not the case. He will be sticking around talking about Sawyer Robertson, Bryson Washington as well. And it gets a little scary when you talk about the transfer portal. Guys jumping all over the place right now. And we'll talk about that a little bit coming up as we get into the college football playoff. But we are here live at Sykora Family Ford out in West. If you get a chance to come by, take advantage of some of the deals. Around this time of year, there's no better opportunity to buy a car and no better place to come than Sykora Family Ford. Again, over my shoulder, that's I got to look at this right. That's hot pepper red, Brian?
Pepper red, yeah.
That is hot pepper red, and that's the Sasquatch? The Sasquatch package on that thing. So you're going to want to come here and see it for yourself, I can promise. There's a whole lot of bells and whistles out here, especially with the meat and potatoes. It'll get you that Sasquatch package and basically a car where you can take anywhere. So college football playoffs begin tonight. It's a whole new frontier, and there's a lot of excitement around that. Notre Dame taking on Indiana. I have a key for this Indiana football game for you, okay? And I'm going to tell you why, not like I'm the authority or I have a crystal ball, but if there was one more reason why I feel like Indiana could pull off the upset, it's because of their quarterback, Curtis Rourke. This is two teams from the state of Indiana. So if you're Notre Dame and you get that bye, you're thinking, man, wouldn't it be great if we could get a team like Clemson or maybe SMU, teams from warmer weather climates, let's have them come, right, to South Bend and play. Tonight, the temperature is going to be 28 degrees. This is the latest weather forecast I have. 28 degrees in South Bend. The wind will be kicking about 15 miles per hour. Look, we're sitting here probably 60, 70 miles from SMU. And I can tell you right now, it is 60 degrees and sunny here in Central Texas. Sunsplash day. This is the type of weather we're used to this time of year in Texas. Yeah, it'll get colder tonight. But to imagine that the Mustangs will be ready to go into that environment and play the type of football they're used to playing in those conditions, man, that's going to be tough for them tomorrow against Penn State. But when you talk about Indiana, it's a different story. This is a team that has played in cold weather throughout the season, and a lot of cold weather guys, right? The players that they recruit are from the Midwest. They are no stranger to this environment. And Curtis Rourke is a great example. He's a quarterback that is from Canada, knows a lot about playing in cold weather. Another thing that jumps out about that game is Marcus Freeman just getting an extension at Notre Dame. There's a lot of pageantry and excitement around the Notre Dame program right now. And I do not ever think that in a game of this magnitude, you're not going to catch a team like Notre Dame sleeping. But fact of the matter is, these guys are good enough, Indiana is, to pull off the upset. So that's a game clearly you want to keep an eye on. By the way, a game we're keeping an eye on right now, La Vega was driving down the field in the 4A Division II championship playoff game against Carthage, and the drive, whatever happened, it stalled out. And La Vega lost the football, so now Carthage has it. Still early in the third quarter. Carthage just had a player go offside, so they're moving the wrong direction. Their coach is upset. We are pulling for La Vega coach John Hyde right now, hoping they can get the job done. Moving to tomorrow. So now we're talking about SMU and Penn State. I was surprised to see that spread has remained at 8.5 points. So I want to talk a little about the ACC when we talk about two teams playing tomorrow. We've got SMU going tomorrow against Penn State. Again, I think it's so important to bring temperature into this and climate into this and the latest forecast. It goes back to, if you can remember Brent Musburger, I was a kid, right? I grew up at the foot of my parents' television set, watching Brent Musburger, watching the NFL Today show with Jimmy the Greek. And Brent would come on the air and he would say, "You are looking live at Arrowhead Stadium where it is 35 degrees and rainy." That was an indication and a wink to bettors all across America as to, hey, I'm giving you the latest up-to-date info on this game and exactly how you might want to bet it if that's something you're into. If you're into that, SMU, I can tell you it's going to be 28 degrees and sunny tomorrow in Happy Valley at Penn State. But SMU getting 8.5 points. And we just talked about the fact that the climate and the temperature in that area of the country is much different than players are accustomed to here in Central Texas and especially up towards the North Texas part of the state. But they're 8.5-point underdogs. Later on in the afternoon, Clemson taking on Texas. Clemson is a 12-point favorite over Clemson. That is a situation where I look at that and I think, man, two things. The ACC is still not getting respect, right? They can pound their chest and say, "Oh, we're not getting the respect we deserve." Okay, understood. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why, and you hear this, and it's a cliche, but a lot of times these are cliches because they're very true. The odds makers in Las Vegas do a magnificent job, like it or not, and there are many times where I haven't liked it because I've been on the losing end. But these odds that they put together are amazingly accurate most of the time. So the indication that SMU is an 8.5-point underdog on the road at Penn State and that Texas is a 12-point underdog, Clemson is a 12-point underdog playing at Texas. Look, they play the games for a reason, and we're going to find out all of this tomorrow. But initially you would say, well, there's a body of work that SMU and Clemson have put together that is nowhere near up to snuff of the opponents they're taking on today or tomorrow. And the ACC not getting respect probably comes for a good reason, but we will find out tomorrow. But right now, both of those teams are big underdogs. Looking ahead to next week, there's something that jumped out at me because this morning the news that Carson Beck, Georgia's star quarterback, will not be playing in next week's game, which will be a quarterfinal college football playoff game. He's going to be out, and the reason he's out is an elbow injury. And when you have an elbow injury on your throwing on your throwing hand or your throwing arm, I guess you would say, that is just no bueno for a quarterback. Right now, again, you talk about conditions, climate. Once you get to the quarterfinals and the semifinals, you're playing either in a dome or in nice weather cities. So it's not as though he'll be trying to throw a football in 30-degree weather. But apparently, as it looks right now, according to Kirby Smart and according to all kinds of reports out there, he won't be throwing a ball in any kind of weather or in any conditions. Carson Beck won't be because of this injury. So with Carson Beck out, there's a change now going on for Georgia, and they've got a different quarterback in there. So now you look to your backup, right? And I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Here it is. So Cardell Jones, that's what I wanted to talk about. Cardell Jones was quarterback for Ohio State in 2014. Now, Cardell Jones, his first game was the conference championship. His second game was the semifinal, and his final game was the championship game. Now, he ended up starting for Ohio State, obviously coming in late in the season, where he won 3 straight games, which included the national championship. That, to me, was an indication of, Cardell Jones did a tremendous job. If you remember, they were calling him the rifleman. He was throwing the ball deep down the field, and Ohio State barely got in the playoff, but they got in the playoff. Cardell Jones was their quarterback, and they ended up winning a national championship for Urban Meyer. Again, this was in 2014. I look at Gunnar Stockton, who's the backup quarterback right now for Georgia, taking over for Carson Beck with a very similar opportunity. And the reason that I compare the two are when you talk about blue chip programs like this, when you a dyed-in-the-wool Big Ten powerhouse, especially back in 2014, Ohio State, and an SEC power like Georgia, and all the national championships that they have collected in recent years. And when you're running, you see teams try to run the football against Georgia, especially that front four. There's nowhere to go. Like if a player like Ashton Genty from Boise State ends up bumping into Georgia at some point during this college football playoff, it's overwhelming how good that defense is and the athletes they have on that Georgia football team and in the SEC. And I think when you look at a backup quarterback like Gunnar Stockton, it's a similar situation. If he has to come in, and he is coming in, to take over for Carson Beck, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. He'll have opportunities where he needs to make big plays, 3rd and longs, or maybe he'll be able to surprise the defense by throwing the ball downfield on 1st down with a play action. But Georgia is not created around Carson Beck. Carson Beck is a terrific quarterback, but it's more about, especially a program like Georgia, it's about the football team. It's about the ingredients top to bottom. When you turn the page and you look at, I was just talking about Ashton Genty, a team like that is more about the quarterback. On the other side, Big 12, other side of the bracket now, Cam Skattebo and Arizona State. That's as much as I'd like to see Arizona State win because it's a representative of the Big 12, and I want to see them continue the run that they're on right now. Similar situation where you have a great running back, and that great running back can very quickly be minimized or made to look pedestrian if you have an amazing defense that is racing all over the field. So a lot of folks out there, and this is the story of the day, what exactly is going to happen with Georgia now that you lose Carson Beck. I don't think that that's any reason to jump ship on Georgia if that's a team that you're looking at right now, looking to ride to the college football playoff championship. Quick look over at the La Vega score. 3rd and 12, Carthage. I think they just incomplete. So now we got a 4th and very long coming up for Carthage. La Vega is down 14-7 early in the 4th quarter. So it is go time right now for the Pirates. This looks like these games are so much fun, by the way. It's just yesterday there were a couple games, the triple. I ended up bumping into a woman at the 7-Eleven in Waco, and she was talking to me because she kind of recognized me. We started talking about sports, and she could not stop talking about the triple overtime game. It's pretty cool. Texas high school football kind of brings everybody under the same tent. And that's something you just absolutely love to see. Coming up under our tent soon, we have Paul Catalina of 365 fame. He's going to talk to us a little. He told us that Smokey threw him a curveball today. We were expecting him here to join us out at Sykora Family Ford. We were going to try to get him into one of these Broncos with the Sasquatch package, but he'll have to come out and see him in person later on. Maybe Paul can come out on the 24th, where Santa's going to be out here. That's a pancake breakfast, correct?
Correct.
You can never get enough pancakes, especially at Sykora Family Ford on the 24th. That's going to be 6 to 10. Santa's going to be here. Bring the kids. We got a truck. I mean, it's all going to be going down outside here at Sykora Family Ford. And don't get the wrong idea. We'll be inside in case it gets cold. But you're going to want to come out here for that. No better way to celebrate the Christmas season. And it's a lot of fun being here today. We are live at Sykora Family Ford. The show will continue after this. We're looking forward to welcoming Paul Catalina here. I want to get his opinion because I need some fresh air as far as what other folks are thinking about the college football playoff, because I've made up my mind, and I think I'm a little bit too far down the rabbit hole on how conditions are going to affect these first round games. I've said it before. I will say it again. Whether you're a man and you're a football fan, or you're a woman or you're a football fan, like, be very careful this weekend, because we've got 4 college football playoff games, and we got, I think, 3 NFL games on Saturday. Like, you just want to make sure that you're able to keep it together. And remember, happy wife, happy life. That's just a good way to go about things. So if you've got things to get done around the house or for the holiday season, now would be the time to do it. As it looks like La Vega has the ball back. They're very deep in their own territory. We're going to continue to update you on what goes on in this game. But coming up next, we've got Paul Catalina talking to us a little bit about the college football playoff. The Pete Sousa Show, live today from Sykora Family Ford, rolls on. We are powered by the Rogue Media Network. We'll step aside. Be back shortly.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock your full potential with On It, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Sports.
Here we are at Sykora Family Ford. We've got a live show going, and check it out. We've got Paul Catalina. Paul, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you fine. I'm trying to look. I've got two different monitors going on here, so I've got here. So I'm trying to look professional, Pete, and still look at you. Let me push back here so I can. There we go.
You look like $1 million. Is one of the monitors you're looking at the Vega game right now?
No, we don't have that between all of us and our subscription services. We don't have that app, so because we don't have cable, we're a streaming family here at 365 Sports, and because of it's complicated, Pete. You know it. You're in the biz, so we don't have that.
You don't have to explain. You don't have to explain anything to me about subscriptions. And cable packages and sharing subscription with your mother, your brother, your girlfriend. But what I can tell you is you blew it, because I'm down here at Sykora Family Ford in this beautiful showroom, and I got the game on right here on the big flat screen.
I saw the chair for me in the break. I saw that. That was it. I was kind of sad about it. I saw it before you went to the break. It has a candy cane on it. That was for me. That was my candy cane.
This was your candy cane.
That was mine, Pete. That was mine.
And by the way, that could be your brand new Ford right there, buddy. All right, that could be your Bronco.
I'm in the market. I'm in the market.
Well, if you're in the market, then you got to get down to Sykora Family Ford.
What can they do for $75 a month? Can they do that one? I'm a big time celebrity, Pete.
I'm not even going to. That's a figure I'm not even going to embarrass them with. Okay?
Look, just seeing my face in that car would create a stir amongst at least 7 to 10 people.
$75 a month will get your electric bill paid in the wintertime, and not in the summer. Just so you know.
I know. Yeah, no, I know. I love the Sykoras. They're great people. I've known them for a while. They do a lot of really great stuff. I'm sorry that I can't be there. I'll be in Nashville starting tomorrow for a couple weeks with my wife's family, so I will miss the pancake breakfast. But there is nothing like a pancake. I'm like Ron Swanson. Just give me the breakfast foods, man. Give me the breakfast foods.
That's it all day and night.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get. I want to get to you right now about. There's so much going on. You've got 365. You've got the triple option show, and you're embedded right now in what's going on football wise. And as we get into the college football playoff, I was just saying before we got to you, I was like, I think I need some fresh air, because I have my opinions on exactly what I think or my hunches going into this college football playoff. But if you don't mind, I'd like to take you through these first round games.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and get your thoughts on them. Tonight's, I cannot wait for tonight. I have nothing going on personally. I've kind of bought myself some time. So I've got my night is tonight to watch Indiana and Notre Dame. I was talking earlier about how I discovered today, I should already knew this, that Curtis Rourke is from Canada. So now there's no way he's not going to win this game, because he's totally ready to play in 25 degrees. But give me some insights on this game for you. When you look at this matchup, do you see a possibility of an upset?
I do, because of Curt Cignetti. He's a coach, man. I mean, I know that's an obvious statement. That's what he is, but he's a capital C coach. When you say Coach Curt Cignetti, it's like saying doctor to me. That, to me, he's kind of earned that status. When you can do what you do at James Madison and then roll into Indiana, and it's like the this year was like the last 100 years of Indiana football never happened. It's just the way that you can wipe the slate clean. And a lot of that has to do with the rules in college football today make it easier, which I like. I'm more for an egalitarian society just in general terms. And I think that when you have this kind of parity that goes on, you get the right guy in charge who goes and gets the right players that can turn a roster around. Like, that's a big deal. Now, do I think he'll win this game tonight? No, because another guy who is a capital C coach is Marcus Freeman, and that defense is legit, and their offense is built for this as well. And Riley Leonard, who's not a guy, that you would think of as like a prolific passer. Well, if it's snowy up there, then he doesn't really have to be. He's got a built for a game like this in the snow. And if you look at Riley Leonard's career, big moments, last year at Duke against Florida State, if he doesn't get hurt, Florida State's probably not undefeated. Like, he was controlling that game, right? He was absolutely controlling that game. He really gets geeked up for these kind of things. Against A&M this year, the first game of the year, he didn't have his best stuff, but when it came down to it, he made plays when it mattered. You look against Army and Navy, two really good teams this year. He was just in control of those games. Like, he just knows that when the eyes are on him, it's going to be a big night, and I think that's maybe the difference. Although Canadian Curtis Rourke, that's a secret weapon in the snow. So,
hey, I got a question for you too. You mentioned we were talking about Notre Dame because I was talking about this morning. That loss to Northern Illinois, and even with Oregon, right? How closely they played Boise State, or Boise State played them earlier in the year. Do you take those games into consideration, or was that so long ago that you think to yourself, you know what? I'm not quite sure about really because I feel like people are giving a lot of power to that Boise State Oregon game, and that was like in September, early September.
Yeah,
that was a while ago. How much credence do you put on those early season games?
I like to look at seasons as the whole tapestry of it, right? Like, if you're painting the picture of the whole season, very rarely is the thing going to be, Whistler's mother, right? Where it's just perfect. It's going to be more of like, oh, there might be some elements where this is really good. Like, this is great. But then there's going to be those little corners or pockets where you're like, I don't know what this guy's doing there. And I think for Oregon and Boise State, Boise State's really good. They're the playoff too. For Notre Dame, it's almost not fair to compare those kind of moments because Boise State's a playoff team. Northern Illinois was just a good MAC team, this year. So I think, you look at Northern Illinois and Notre Dame, everybody's going to have those days. Like, you're just going to have those days. And Northern Illinois playing Notre Dame is always going to mean way more to Northern Illinois than it ever will to Notre Dame. You're never going to get the other way around, right? So you're going to have those days where it is the pinnacle game for them. So I think, I put a little credence into it because you can see, like, hey, if you get them into this, if you can paint them into this corner, you have that struggle. But I just look at teams as the overall thing of their strengths and their weaknesses. And Notre Dame if you can box them into a corner where you can contain the running game, they're not going to be able to pass to win most of the time. But if you let them get comfortable at all, they can control the tempo of the game completely.
So it's super important for Indiana to come out and kind of hit them in the mouth and get an advantage early then if they want to win.
Yeah, I think Indiana needs to have that offense that they had most of the year where, like, all of a sudden you turn around and it's 24-0 and you're like, wait a minute, didn't we just kick off? Like, how did this happen so fast? And that's what they need to happen. I don't know if you can do that in the conditions, though, that are tonight. So it's cold, it's snowy, like all those things. That's going to be hard for, like, Curtis Rourke might be fine, but, the rest of the guys aren't all Canadians either, So
tomorrow, we sticking with the conditions because this is one again. Like I think I've become super obsessed with like the weather in these playoff games because it's the first time we've ever had it. Tomorrow it's going to be about 28 degrees, but maybe sunny in Happy Valley. SMU at Penn State. Here we are today. It's a sun-splashed day. I can see outside from Sykora Family Ford just how beautiful it is here in West Texas, but. We're not that far from Dallas is my point, where SMU obviously is housed. What's your thoughts on tomorrow's game and if SMU can pull off the upset on the road in those conditions?
I think that they can. I actually just did a segment with somebody where I kind of put out where I think their path is. And part of it is that if you keep Penn State close in a big game, you can outcoach James Franklin. So if they keep it close, I think they win. Because I don't think they're going to jump out, and I don't think Penn State's necessarily going to jump out. But I don't think what happened to them against Clemson is going to happen against Penn State. Penn State just doesn't play that way. I think they have a path. I think the weather is going to look. Kevin Jennings is from Oak Cliff, right? Like he's never, this is weird for him. But he's to me one of the guys you got to put on the Heisman watch list going into next year. Just like Drew Aller, like you've got two guys who we're going to be watching, very closly going into 2025 in this game. I think Penn State obviously has the advantage. They're at home. This is so big for SMU. I mean, they don't play schools like Penn State all that often. So this is a brave new world for them. But I have so much faith in Rhett Lashley. I think he is an amazingly badass coach. Like he is just so good at what he does and so confident that you put him against James Franklin, a guy who I think, I'm just ho-hum on. I think that SMU has the coaching advantage. Now, it's going to be, are you ready? Are you talented enough for this moment against a roster that's got more stars on it than you do?
You mentioned the roster real quick. I want to jump in because you mentioned how, you're you can handle the climate of college football, which is the portal. How do you feel about these? You look at both backup quarterbacks on these teams. They're basically MIA for this game, or one definitely is, and leading up to it, SMU's backup quarterback is taking visits or doing whatever he's doing. But that's the world we're living in today. What are your thoughts on that? To me, I can't even wrap my mind around it.
It's hard to. I don't blame the kids. You have to Jeff Traylor was on our show the other day, and he's like, look, we can't blame them. Like, the adults made the rule, right? So if the adults made the rule, like they're just following the rules that were put out for them. So I don't really blame the kids. It stinks. Now, look, James Franklin could very easily say, look, Bo, take your visits, but you're still on the roster until you're not on the roster. Like, that exists for them. Preston Stone is going to be there. Like, he's not really been practicing with them, but he knows the offense, and he's been in those spots. So if he has to play, he can. So I think part of that's also on the coaches of like, look, you want to transfer, you're gone. Well, like the 12-team playoff's a little different thing than the Alamo Bowl, right? Like you're talking about not just this one game. If you win, you need them for multiple games. Something has to be worked out with a calendar so that you can be the backup quarterback on a team that can win the national title and play in those games if you have to, and then go to your next school. Do I have faith in the leaders of college athletics to figure that out? No, I don't. I do not. They're going to lose. They're going to try to fight because there's going to be multiple guys that try to get the Diego Pavia thing where their JUCO doesn't count. And they're going to lose at every turn because they are content to just throw money at lawyers, and then their reasoning is, well, we don't want to. So with the calendar, it's the same thing. Like, why don't you change this or make this rule available so that if you're one of 12 playoff teams, we're not talking about every team, one of 12 teams, and then after this week, there'll be 4 less teams. So then you'll be one of 8 teams and so on and so on. So you're not talking about doing it for everybody, but if your team makes the CFP and you would like to transfer, but you still would like to help the team you're on, because I think that's the case for most of the players. Like, look, Bro Perula, if Drew Aller went to the NFL, wouldn't be transferring. But if he wants to have more than 1 year as a starting quarterback, he has to transfer. So, he's been boxed in. So just make a rule that lets these guys play in the playoff. Like, it's not that complicated, but the we don't wanna of the world is going to do this. All of these problems can be solved with collective bargaining, but the NCAA, we don't want to.
We don't want to, and be careful with common sense, right? God forbid. They bring that into the conversation. All right, a couple more games to get to before I let you get out of here. Texas and Clemson. If I had to look at one game to circle and say I feel 12 points is a lot, this is the one. And earlier I was mentioning, it almost was like, okay, odds makers really aren't giving a whole lot to the ACC, right? Coming into this first round. So is that rightfully so, I guess, is my question to you. Should Texas be a 12-point favorite? Will they win the game?
I think Texas wins. 12's huge. Against Dabo in the postseason, 12 is huge. That's a big number to hit.
Paul, it's so big. It's like, okay, what is this number telling me?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm like, wow, that's high. It almost makes you want to just, as somebody who would wager on the game, totally stay away. But as a fan, it says, wow, Texas must be better. Am I right there?
No, I think Texas, I think you're totally right. I completely agree with you. And look, if you look at the way that Clemson has played when they've played teams that are good, and they've only played one team that's as good or better than Texas, and that is Georgia, who beat Texas twice, right? They lost to South Carolina in a very close game. The worst game I've ever seen Dabo coach was against Louisville. It was an awfully coached game, and he's not normally like that. And believe me, if you watch the show, you know I'm no fan of Dabo. Like I'm not in his corner. I'll give him his due for what he's good at, and he's good at these moments. He's really good in the postseason. He's good at this. And then of course he got blown out by Georgia. There's a talent gap between Clemson and Texas, a pretty sizable one, I think, because when you look at Cade Klubnik has played really well this year, but he's just got okay wide receivers. Phil Maffa is going to play in the game. Apparently, he's coming off a shoulder injury. He's a good running back. But if you look at the teams that Clemson won in the postseason with, when they were in the 14 playoff, when they had Trevor Lawrence, when they had Deshaun Watson, when they had ATN, when they had guys like Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins, like they don't have those guys right now. Texas, though, does. And I think that's the reason for the 12 points is Texas is hugely more talented than they are. Now, their ability to win and get to that 12 points is on one guy, and it's Quinn Ewers. Is Quinn Ewers going to have a good game, or is he going to have a game where he just looks meh, and that's the big question to me. I think if you surveyed Texas fans, they would say just let Arch play in the playoff. Right now, overwhelmingly, it wouldn't even you wouldn't even need to go to a recount. It would just be straight across the board. Let's do that because Arch is going to be their starter next year. Whatever Quinn Ewers decides to do, go to the NFL or stay in college, Arch Manning is going to be the starter at Texas next year. And so I think a lot of Texas fans would just rather see that right now because Arch is healthy 100% and Quinn is not.
All right, so moving on to the last game, I appreciate that synopsis because it sheds a light on a lot of stuff. This game, I never thought I'd be pulling for Ryan Day, but I am now because all the talk is now stacked up against him, and I kind of like the underdog, I guess, a little bit. I mean, he's never lost more than 2 games in a season as a head coach at Ohio State, but now he's up against losing his job, people are saying, if he doesn't run the table, which – does it make sense? Does it not? It still blows my mind, right? I mean, but that just shows what a rivalry is like against a team like Michigan if you're Ohio State. Tonight, I feel like could be the I don't even want to call it a revenge tour, but I really feel like Ryan Day, the door is open for him to do something special in this postseason, and it starts tomorrow night, I should say. Your feelings on that game, Tennessee at Ohio State, and then what you think Ohio State can do.
Ryan Day is Ryan Day's biggest enemy. Like he is because if you watch how he coaches games against Michigan, dude just needs to take a gummy and relax. Just be what you are. Again, he coaches Penn State this year. He coached a really good game. You look at the big I'll tell you against Oregon, I thought he coached a pretty good game. They lost by 1 point, to the number 1 team in the country. He did well there, but against Michigan, he gets clogged up, right? He gets locked up and he can't get out of his own way. They have a lot of injuries on that offensive line, which is a huge disadvantage when you've got a Tennessee defensive line that has a guy like James Pierce on it who's going to feast on the backup tackles. I know that they're Ohio State backup tackles, so they're better than your normal ones, but still, they're the backup tackles. James Pierce is going to be let loose. Home field advantage is huge, but I also think the fan base isn't completely behind him. Like, part of them in the darkest parts of their soul would love it if they fell down 17-3 to Tennessee going into halftime, because then they can just unleash all their bile on him. And, they can just go and like, oh, this is it. And again, if there's a parting of the ways between Ohio State and Ryan Day, if they lose this game, I would not be shocked, because I would think part of him would want it to be over, because it's really hard to live in Columbus. Look, Kirk Herbstreit's kid is going to Michigan, for crying out loud. And part of that is because when Kirk Herbstreit was living in Columbus, he lives in Nashville now, but like when he was living in Columbus, like his family would get harassed when he didn't pick them to win. Like, hey, are you one of us or not? And you're like, man, like, you're on the third string quarterback. The other two broke their legs. What do you want me to say? Like, I can't pick you to win them all. Like, and so I think part of that exists there, and it's a really tough place to be accepted because they have this, it's that. And look, the Michigan game is in their psyche in a way it probably shouldn't be anymore because of the 12-team playoff, but they call that game the game. You don't need to. There doesn't need to be the Michigan-Ohio State game. It doesn't have like some kind of quirky name like the Paul Bunyan Trophy or the Lone Star Showdown or whatever. It's the game. That's how important it is that they can just call it that and get away with it. So the fans having lost the game 3 years in a row means more to them than anything. And you'll never see a coach that's 50 games over 500 be as reviled as he is in his own spot. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. It's crazy. He could go a lot of other places and win. And I think part of him, even though he would not admit this, maybe even to himself until this is all over, would love it for it to be over and him to be anywhere else but there.
Well, I don't love that this is almost over, but I appreciate you very much for taking the time. By the way, I want to see your reaction. Do you know what the score is of the La Vega game?
I do not. I have no idea.
All right, so since we've been on this scintillating interview, you and I together, they've rattled off Carthage's 3 scores. It's 28-7.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I have done Carthage in the playoffs a couple times. As always, I was always the opposing broadcaster. Smokey and Craig and I did a game against China Spring and Carthage at the Star in the state semifinals a few years ago. And China Spring, Keontae Ingram was playing for Carthage at the time. And he was simultaneously like winning the game for Carthage and keeping China Spring in it because he kept fumbling. But when Scott Surratt decides it's like time to go, like they just go. There's like almost nothing you can do about it year after year. I did a game with them against Mejia one time, and Mejia jumped out to a 13-0 lead, but Carthage blocked the extra point, and you could see I was right next to the Mejia coaches, and when they blocked the extra point, you could see the whole coaching booth just like get punched in the stomach. Because they're like, well, that's it. There goes our momentum. And sure enough, they didn't score again for the rest of the game. Like, that was the last good thing that happened, and it was like 42-13. And they're like, well, it was fun. Like, you had this whole thing. It was fun while it lasted. First quarter was great, wasn't it, guys?
So here you and I are talking, and those are great anecdotes. So we're not calling the game. I saw Teddy Emmerich's calling the game, so they're in good hands.
Yeah.
But you're the man, Paul. Thank you so much, man. 365 Sports, of course, triple option. Really, and the fantasy football show too, which is
that damn fantasy show. And some Cowboy stuff coming after the new year. It'll be fun. We'll announce that later when Corey and I get the logistics worked out.
Let me tell you something, dude. There is always room for more Cowboys content, and that's from an Eagles fan. There just is. And by the way, I want to have you on later. I can't wait to hear. I want to hear what your take is on this new Cowboys documentary coming in 2025. Have you seen the trailer yet?
I have.
Yeah.
It's not going to make Jerry look good. I mean, as much as he wants it to, it's going to come across the wrong way. It's going to come across the wrong way. And here's the thing. No Cowboys documentary can really cover Jerry Jones the way that I really wish people could see him, which is in his true element without cameras on him, because he loves the cameras and he plays up for the cameras. But I've had a couple of stories I can tell you about Jerry Jones off the air, Pete, and just remind me to do that.
Not flattering for him?
That's not flattering, but let's just let you know, I like Jerry. I do. I think he's –
me too.
I like Jerry. I just know that, like, he's not the right guy to be in charge right now. Like those two things can be the same. Like, you know, I have a lot of friends who I love to hang out with, but if I said like, could you run a business? No. They don't have to be in charge. They don't need to be in charge. Like they can contribute. Certainly, like we'll find a good spot for your talents, but you being the last say in everything, that's not where Jerry needs to be. Nor do most 80-year-old dudes need to be.
No, they don't. They don't get the remote. They shouldn't be able to own teams. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
All right, Paul Catalina, man, thank you so much for your time. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy it.
Pete, anytime you need me, let's make this happen.
You got it. That is Paul Catalina. We continue on here, the Pete Sousa Show, powered by Slovakics and the Rogue Media Network. We are live at Sykora Family Ford. Back right after this.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Download Blogify now in the App Store. Easy Sun has been living fearlessly under the sun since 2016. Born from sailors' need for convenient sun protection, our mineral sunscreen is crafted with natural ingredients offering broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays. Safe for your skin and the environment, stay protected on the go with Easy Sun, your ultimate sun care solution. Visit EasySun.com today. That's EEZYSUN.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIM-X. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at eSIMX.com. That's ESIMX.com. At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today.
Sports.
Man.
Okay. Looks
Oh,
like
here we go.
we're back.
Oh,
buddy.
we going?
We
Are we
back.
ready?
Am I ready?
Are you ready? Am I
Take
ready?
this out, are we still going to be okay? Yeah, we will be okay. Okay. Well, that's good. All right. Let's get to it, pal.
Okay.
No, Corey Dickman is here.
We're here.
Locked in, all in bets. By the way.
Yeah.
How about this? We're live.
Dude,
at Sykora Family
this is
Ford.
beautiful.
We've been talking about coming out here for a while.
We were talking to Brian. I think Brian should let us come in all the time. We should just be a fixture here.
Hey,
Yeah.
So now I can hear Brian because I'm done an interview. How about Paul Catalina? And I don't care if he's listening to this or not.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, you got to come out here, get a new. He goes, we got to see what they can do with $75. So it's like, hey, pal.
$75.
I mean,
yeah, Paul. Paul would be still talking. Like I was sitting waiting. I thought we'd be doing a 4-hour show with just you and Paul talking.
Look, Paul is. We almost need a speaker for him if we're at these live remotes
We
so
do.
everybody else can enjoy.
We love Catalina.
Dude, I love Catalina.
do.
He has a lot to say.
He
He's
does.
very insightful.
He's very insightful.
Yeah.
I would say you, our producer, Zach,
Yeah.
incredible, and Paul. And probably put Mosley in there.
Uh-huh.
If I had the four of y'all, there wouldn't be one sports thing the four of you wouldn't know.
I
It
spent
would be like a
last
sports
night-
show,
We'll
game
get to
show.
the picks. I spent last night rewatching one show and then finishing the Joe Montana documentary.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, who has time for this? There's 6
Sure.
episodes about Joe Montana. I love Joe Montana.
Yeah.
I have time for it.
Yeah.
All 6 episodes.
My mom wasn't really like a football person,
Uh-huh.
but they were living in San Francisco during one of the Super Bowls, and she was just like a Joe Montana fan. It was a weird thing growing up. She's like, Joe, and I'm like, well, he doesn't play anymore, Mom. Like, he's retired. He's been retired for a while, but she's like, he's the greatest though.
He is the greatest.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I had no idea how much trouble he had. Bill Walsh always wanted to start Steve Young. So there became a series of years, like 3 in a row, where every year, this is one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Sure.
And he was like struggling to get his job. I had no idea.
Crazy. Maybe that pushed him.
Maybe it
Yeah.
did. All right, let's
Maybe
see.
Walsh knew.
Maybe
All right.
last weekend will push
Maybe
him.
we need to be pushed. Yeah, we need Steve Young
All right,
here.
Let's get the overall
Okay.
for the season.
All right. So college. We're right above the Mendoza line.
Okay.
21, 20, and 1. So you still have made money. So don't be mad. You still have made money. I will say last week, between just how we were going,
Yeah.
I had Army, you had Navy.
Yeah.
Navy won. That was not even a close game.
Yeah.
So we lost that one. Jackson State, South Carolina State, it got kind of out of hand. We had over 54.5 there. It got to like 35. I mean, it was Jackson State just kind of ran over. It's like 28-7.
Yes.
So we weren't close there.
We weren't close.
We
that
did.
means he doesn't even have an excuse.
We did pick up South Alabama, and I'm gonna so we might have some people in the comments, but the line moved down to 6.5 because my boy that I was hyping up was it Joe or
what was his name?
Gio transferred and he didn't play. So Gio transferred, which is the hardest part with these postseason college football picks outside of the playoff games, because it's like, dude, your quarterbacks are just gone. But Alabama did.
Don't get me started.
South
That's
Alabama
ridiculous.
did win that game by 7, so
All
we
right.
covered there. So
it's fine.
we hyped up Gio,
So it's fine.
and
anyway.
Gio didn't
We're
play.
good.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So 21, 20, and 1.
Okay.
That was where college. NFL, again, maybe I don't like going head-to-head with you. I had Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Plus 5.5. I felt really good about that. The Eagles, win by 14, so that sucked. So we lose that one.
Yeah.
The one where you could have just threw more money on it, that over for the Bills at Lions, it was like 54.5.
Yeah, it was early. It was like
They scored 80. It was
Yeah.
like 86 points, or it was some obscene number, maybe not that high. You could have put more money on that. We would be buying the Bronco behind us. Like, that would have been great. So, but anyway, so we won that. That was awesome.
You come into Sykora Family Ford with all cash like that, you're leaving with
You're golden. Yes. This is where you get the money here to do that.
I don't know about that.
My extra pick, maybe I should have stayed away, my Seahawks.
Yeah.
Weird game, though. Gino got hurt. So, I'm going to kind of put an asterisk. But that's why I was like, some of these picks were a little,
Yeah. I was more frustrated with the
circumstances.
uniforms you guys wore.
Well, don't be a hater.
Bunch of human
You did say, though, last week, you said Seahawks play better in the daytime, and it was a 7:30 primetime game. And look what happened. We lose by 17. So, maybe you had something there. So, and then the mortgage, this is where this one just like a knife, man. This is just awful.
I got a text message from somebody who watches the show.
Oh, yeah.
That said,
brutal.
I got actually 2 that said the mortgage bet just missed.
Oh, dude, it was awful. We had it. Commanders minus 2.5. I mean, they were up big, and then New Orleans scores this touchdown at the end with 0 seconds left on the clock.
Everybody kind of got jacked.
Everyone got jacked on that one, but so that sucked. And then the Dolphins, we had a plus 7.5. Tua had 4 drives to either tie that game, and then they lose by 8. And we had it at 7.5. So we lost the mortgage. So I'm sorry you have nowhere to live right now. And I apologize to Mike Nelson, Efficient Lending. You got to talk to Mike. He'll help you out maybe with some efficient lending because we missed that one. So
Paul Catalina's calling him up too, probably.
Paul Catalina's calling him up. So overall, NFL, we're 17 up, 17 down.
All right, that's right.
And the mortgage, we're up 6, down 6.
All right,
so
let's get. I want to get to now.
Oh, we're gonna get to now.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I'm very excited about the college football playoff slate.
Dude, this is big time.
This is big time.
All right.
So I want to hear what let's get into this
real quick. I have some family that live in New Orleans, outside of New Orleans, Houma, Louisiana. They only drive Fords, Brian, so they're a good Ford family. A lot of Tulane in my family. So we got to do Florida versus Tulane. So Uncle Gary, this is for you. We're taking Florida minus 10. I know you got your quarterbacks transferring to Duke or something. Florida, they're going to keep their guys. Yeah. This is in Florida. Tulane's going to get run over. I'm so sorry, Uncle Gary.
That game's tonight, right?
That game's tonight. That's tonight. So my apologies there. In fact, it's starting like in an hour. So get your bets in. Florida minus 10, no doubt. All right, we're going to start with.
It's great too because a lot of people watch this. Like Brian watches it after it airs live. So you were watching this and you're like, man, that guy, that schmuck,
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Florida just lost.
My Uncle Gary gonna be calling up from the home there he's at. Okay, Friday night lights.
I can't wait.
Indiana traveling to South Bend, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored by,
I think 8.
6.5.
6.5. By the way, that's gone down.
Has that gone down?
Yeah.
Well, we're taking Notre Dame minus 6.5.
Really?
Indiana, everyone's going to look at the cake schedule they had, right? They didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame, it's a home game. That's what makes it so unique right now. These home games, they're a stout defense. Indiana, if they can keep this at a 1-score game, they're probably doing something right. But they'll still lose by 7.
Okay.
So give me Notre Dame minus 6.5 to cover. The defense is too good. They're getting one of their All-American guys. He's missed like 4 games. He's coming back.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's going to get up for this.
That too, and that gets scary this time of year for the opponent when you have such a good defense.
Yeah,
that it's one of those deals where it can move you further to a championship.
For sure.
Yeah, it can certainly help you in cold weather.
And this is India. University of Indiana playing Notre Dame. This is like they're in the same state here. So I mean, like they're this isn't Indiana's used to playing in the cold.
Yeah,
but I just think Notre Dame has the talent. Indiana, this has been a great story, but I think they're 1 year away.
Okay.
Let's play some people first. Indiana. Right. Okay. We have a game. SMU, my ponies let me down against Clemson 2 weeks back. They're playing Penn State. SMU is an underdog by how many?
I got it right here, 8.5.
8.5 points. Penn State. I think there's some sneaky low score potential here in this game.
I agree.
So 8.5, too many. Too many points for the ponies. Give me SMU 8.5. This is like, if this was a March
for the ACC, by the way.
For the ACC, if this was a March Madness tournament, this is the 11 seed versus 6. That always is an upset. 11 seeds always. It's just natural. It's just built in. So I think SMU hangs. 8.5's a lot. So I don't think Penn State blows them out of this game. I get it's at Penn State, but I think SMU 8.5.
I like.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I like.
You
that
sure?
A lot. Yes.
You're not just saying that?
I'm not just saying that.
Okay.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
All right. I actually heard you and Paul talking about this one, and I couldn't hear what he was saying. But Clemson goes to UT, down to Austin, right? 12 points. UT is favored by 12. It's going to be 15 and 19. They're going to blow them out.
Okay.
12 is not that many. I know you were saying it feels like a lot, so it's a stay away.
Feel like a lot.
It's not. Like when you think of it, it's like that's a not even. It's barely a 2-score lead.
Yeah.
You can see the scenarios. UT wins 28-14. That's not even.
We're sitting here with
28-14
and Carthage.
Yeah.
And in the blink of an eye, scored 28 points.
UT,
both teams together.
They have defense at all levels.
Yeah.
They're great at stopping the run. They have great corners. Their offense just hums no matter who's the quarterback. I just think UT gets this going. So they could even be up 7, and then there could be a pick 6. There could be running, knocking it. Like it can happen where this gets above 12. This is this is easy. And I don't like Clemson. They've hurt me. Clemson has hurt me, and this is probably a biased pick, but give me the Longhorns.
All right.
Minus 12. Tanner Carlson hosts All In Longhorns with Rogue.
He does. He does a great job.
Tanner's a great dude. This is for Tanner.
Okay.
Minus 12 UT.
By the way, we mentioned this UIL game that's on, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Paul Catalina. Brian, we're here live at Sykora Family Ford.
Sure.
Brian, you'll appreciate this. So I was asking Paul Catalina when he was on last segment, you guys couldn't hear us. I said, are you watching the game? Are you keeping up with it? He said, Pete, we got 5 people in the studio and nobody has an account where we can watch the game. I was like,
no.
You should have come. I was like, he said, we're not cable people. I said, you guys missed out.
Well, Paul Catalina is going to be calling La Vega games next year for us, so he better get comfortable. I'm joking, but maybe. All right. Get ready, Catalina. Yeah. All right. This will be a fun one.
Yeah.
This is like the 8-9 matchup, right? Yeah. Tennessee going to Ohio State. I don't know who's going to win, but 46.5, too low.
Okay.
Too low. We watched that Oregon game, 65 points scored. Tennessee scores points. Ohio State scores points. They all score points. Why is this 46.5? What am I missing? This is too low. This should be 54.5.
Well, also, again, I've been the weatherman throughout this whole time talking about these games. It's not going to be nice conditions for a high-scoring affair.
You really think? I mean, but see, that could be like the catch-22. Some people, it's too slick. So it's hard for the defense to get in, tackle. So then the offense just.
So you're going over.
I'm going over.
Okay.
46.5.
You're the expert.
In the NFL, because there's more field goals, kicks. Yeah. College, man, we're slinging. We're slinging.
You've had me at the Benjamin Bet podcast years ago when I was listening to that. So I trust you.
Okay, we're falling. 46.5 over Tennessee, Ohio State.
All
right. We'll do NFL real quick.
Yes.
Okay. Lions minus 6.5 at Bears.
You're about to have your second baby.
Second baby.
I know your lovely wife.
Yeah, she's
Lauren.
Amazing. Yeah.
Make sure you stay married this
next
48 hours. No, really, I'm serious.
You think so?
Yeah, then think about it.
I'll try.
There's a game tonight.
Yeah.
I'm already in too deep. I'm making plans, and then I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Sure.
So there's a lot going on here.
You know, one of the tricks is I'll share this with you. I'll share this with you, and maybe some of you out there probably know the trick. So we have a 2.5-year-old too.
Yeah.
And my wife's 8 months pregnant, and so it's like, hey, why don't you go get a pedicure? Go just have some you time. Maybe starting at 5:30 p.m. and just stay out for 3 hours. I'll watch Ellis, and you go do your thing, and then Ellis and I together can find some things to do, and then maybe there's a TV on in the background. Who knows? So I might be able to catch some games. That's what we do. It's a win-win situation.
All right, I like that.
We'll make it through Saturday. We'll make it through Saturday. Okay, NFL Lions minus 6.5 at the Bears. The Bears aren't even an NFL team anymore. Did you hear they got relegated? They're not a team anymore. So the Lions minus 6.5. That's the touchdown win. The Lions are motivated.
I agree.
Philadelphia's coming in hot. They need to win big. Yeah. They lost last week.
I think they're a lot better than the Bears.
They're a ton better than the Bears. Vikings at Seahawks. I don't know if Geno's playing. The Vikings scare me. Even if Geno is playing, they're probably going to sack him 9 times.
How about Geno, though? What a tough guy. He almost went in the game back in with nobody even knowing.
That dude lays it out because he feels like he's had this second chance, right? Yeah. He was gone and dead. He's playing for the Jets.
Yeah.
And then he gets resurrected here and he's had, do you remember it when he was at West Virginia? I remember I was driving around and I was listening to the Baylor game. We were playing Geno and it was like 55-50. It was just a massive
instant
offense back in those days. But so anyway, I don't know if he's going to play, but give me over 42.5.
Speaking of instant offense,
there's going to be some points scored in this game. Sam Howell, he had a rough. You just thrown in. Don't the poor guy. Give him a week to kind of feel like he's going to play. Okay. He could score some points. DK's there. JSN, Kenneth Walker. The Seahawks have weapons.
I'm overwhelmed with initials.
All the names. So they're going to play DK. JSN. So many initials. Yeah. Okay, so that's the 2 NFL picks. You ready for the?
Brian, those weren't even real people.
They are real people. There, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Okay, these are real people. Okay, the efficient lending.
Yes.
Mortgage.
This is real.
Yeah. This is real. It's all real, but this is real. Mike Nelson runs this great mortgage. You can get a mortgage with him.
Yeah.
Efficient lending. So you're going to buy a house, maybe buy a car, or whatever you're going to do. He'll help you get some money. And then if you follow these picks, you'll get some money.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it all ties together. We're in Waco.
Mike is out here. He's sweating this one.
We're in Waco. Yeah, Mike's
like,
sweat. Mike's like, last week didn't go well.
Yeah.
We're in Waco, right? Dallas is an hour and a half north from us, so we got to pick a Cowboys
We're
game.
actually in West right now.
We are in West.
Sykora.
I apologize. Can we take that out? Oh, we're live. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
We are in West.
Yes.
Okay, here at Sykora Family Ford. Okay, if we hopped in that Bronco, we
now
could
we're
get to
talking.
Dallas
Yeah.
for this Cowboy game
With the Sasquatch pack.
with Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So the Bucks at Cowboys. Who do you think is going to win?
I think the Cowboys are going to win.
You do?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a lot of points scored.
Okay.
I'm feeling the over this weekend. A lot of points.
Yes.
Okay, defense gets thrown out the window. A lot of points, especially in this game. 48.5 is the over-under. We're going to tease that down, Pete, to 43.
Okay.
So 44 points. Can we get 44 points?
You notice here in
between
the
these two?
showroom, it gets quiet when you start talking about the mortgage.
It really gets quiet. Yeah, they're quiet.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning Cowboys. I have an underdog selection for you at the end that has to do with this game because I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So
Cowboys still in the playoff picture.
Are they? There's no way they are.
Yeah, they are barely, right?
Even with losing to the Bengals? Yeah. Okay, well, mathematically.
Barely.
Should we call Mosley and see what Matt has to say about it? Maybe we'll call and Ed Warder. We'll call
Ed.
Ed.
Radio show yesterday or 2 days ago, and then he kicked me off for the head coach.
Oh, he did.
So I got John Hyde here.
Oh, you
got to let you go early. I was like, all right, no problem.
The Matt Mosley show. Okay, so then 49ers. We're kicking it old school. Brian was bringing up some old Cowboys games. You talked about Joe Montana. So here's the 49ers going to the Dolphins. Okay, the 49ers are underdogs. 1.5. Why are they underdogs here? I know they're hurt. I get it. But I just don't trust the Dolphins to close out a game against the 49ers team that still has Purdy throwing the ball, Kittle, and I think Debo.
You could see a late season surge from the 49ers, just a reminder because they have the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
A reminder, this team's they're not as good as we anticipated, but they're not quite as bad as I thought so.
Well, and Kyle Shanahan, if you're going to if you had a position that you were going to say, we're going to deplete it,
yes,
it's running back be that guy can just plug. You could go be running back for the Niners, and you'd have 90 yards and a touchdown. Kyle Shanahan, he can work that. He knows the running back game, so you could do that. So 49ers, they're underdogs. We're going to give it 5 points just to juice it up a little bit.
Okay.
So plus 6.5. The Niners are plus 6.5. The Dolphins are going to win that game by a touchdown.
I'm in.
We're in.
Right.
And Mike Nelson's in too. He didn't know it, but he's in. So that's the mortgage, Pete.
Okay.
So Bucks at Cowboys, 43.5 is the over. 49ers at Dolphins, 49ers plus 6.5.
What was your extra underdog bet?
You got so I think these are just players to watch. So if you're going to go do your underdog,
Which is
365 Sports is your promo code.
Uh-huh.
Go download the app. You can make your picks. Go to the Bucks Cowboys game because that's going to be the high scoring game. I think you just get Evans, Lamb, Baker Mayfield. You get Cooper Rush. You get Aubrey. Get the kicker in there. You can do over 7.5 kicking points or something.
Yeah.
And Aubrey's all he has to hit is 2 field goals. That's it.
He is.
And then Jalen McMillan, he's a wide receiver for the Bucks. He kind of has filled in with the injuries they've had. So he is that second receiver. It's 36 yards is all he needs. Grab him. If you're doing fantasy football, pick him up. I mean, he's going to have a touchdown. He'll have 7 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay.
For Jalen McMillan, who you've never heard of. But pick him up. Go for it, baby.
How much will I pay?
That is plus 800. Plus 800. Yeah, and I'm picking the over on those guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So plus 800, Pete. You get $100 in, $800 out.
Name those guys.
We got Mike Evans,
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb, Baker Mayfield, Cooper Rush,
Yeah.
Aubrey, Jalen McMillan.
Okay. And explain to people what plus 800 is.
You put $1,000 in because you roll that way. You put 1,000 in, you get 8,000. You put 100 in, you get 800. You put $1 in, you get $8. Like that, it's pretty. 10 grand, you get 80 grand.
I like the picks this week. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
From this is a sports gambling / broadcasting. What do you think about the NFL and college football going toe to toe tomorrow? I can't believe we let that happen.
Well,
the NFL always wins.
Yeah.
So and you got the Chiefs playing.
Yeah.
In college football, they came in after the NFL. So the NFL always had sat after Army Navy. The NFL always has games on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Right? But this is the first time with the college football playoff. I'm surprised they didn't figure out a way around that.
Yeah.
I hate to think of viewership being splintered.
It's the NFL and everybody else. Remember they said we would never do a Friday night game.
Yeah.
It's high school football sacred. What'd they do?
Yeah.
Had a Friday game. They don't care. Like the NFL's like they're gonna watch.
Yeah.
I think the college game, going to the environments like the NFL can't replicate like the big house.
Yeah.
Right. They can't replicate going to Kyle Field. Right. So I think it's still the atmosphere that's important in college football, and you got to be in attendance there. So it doesn't really matter fighting what you're watching.
It does make it a little more interesting that these games are at home team locations in the playoffs.
And I think that's why. Yeah. And I think that's why they don't care as much. Okay. I think the league that is definitely like just that's getting attacked is the NBA. Because it's like now you're throwing Kansas City, Pittsburgh on Christmas, which has always been NBA.
No, we don't even know what the NBA games
Christmas
are
Day.
Christmas Day. We don't care.
Yeah, no one cares. So now you throw the NFL game on there.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going to watch that. So I don't know. That's the league that I think probably tries to tiptoe more around the NFL, and the NFL just keeps finding ways to get to the NBA.
Yeah.
But college, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right, here's the deal. If you're confused or whatever, that's why you can go back right now and rewatch this segment and get Corey's bets and write them all.
Write them down. Keep us accountable.
Please keep us accountable.
Yeah, we keep receipts.
Brian, are we going to be invited back here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
He says anytime.
We're coming back.
Yes, we are at Sykora Family Ford.
See how those bets go first.
Yeah, okay. We'll see how the bets go.
But I do want to tell you, the 24th, Christmas Eve, if you have an opportunity, come out here 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., pancake breakfast. Santa Claus is going to be here. Bring the kids. Anything I'm missing, Brian? No. Awesome.
We do valet park everybody that shows up. It's a huge deal.
I mean, it's a really cool situation.
We're coming.
Yeah.
My son loves pancakes.
Yeah.
That's like the go-to, man. If you're not sure what to feed him, make him a pancake.
Sounds like,
and I'll eat a pancake. He'll eat a pancake.
Sounds like me. It's not
6
that
to 10, yeah. I'm coming. I'll bring Ellis. Oh, you're out of town. Yeah. Well, I will represent you.
Thank you very much.
If our bets go well.
Just make sure my car stays here. All right. This is the Bronco. And honestly, come to the beautiful showroom. See all they have to offer. Look, there's no better time coming up on the end of the year to see if you can take advantage of some of these deals here out at Sykora Family Ford. And by the way, everybody's so friendly out here, Yeah. So make sure you come out here, experience and enjoy your Christmas with Sykora Family Ford on the 24th. And if you're in the market for a car, no better place to go. The Pete Sousa Show will be back with you on Monday. We want you to have a great weekend. Be careful with the bets.
Don't shoot the messenger. Okay.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a great weekend.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Sports.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
I should start by saying we should do this more often because it just at least looks good.
Okay. I do.
And I like you guys. So like this, let's see where this goes.
Is that Easy E or Ice Cube?
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
This is like.
Was it a good day, Pete?
Shut up, Cam. This is like Joe. This is like the Doughboy era from. You probably never seen Boys in the Hood, Cam, because it probably scares you.
What are you?
We talked about how Lawrence Fishburne plays Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad, even though there's only like 2-3 years between.
I think it's like 6.
More than
I think it's like 6, but it's ridiculously small. It's not that much, Pete. We're more on top of this because we've seen more Boys in the Hood. So
okay,
I've probably seen Boys in the Hood 40 times in my life.
They're always hard. So
that is true.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pull your card.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best movies. Honestly, it's in my top 10. I mean,
okay.
And what would have become of Ricky Baker? Like literally, maybe we'd be still talking about him.
Who's Ricky Baker?
He was
Anita's son
who got killed.
I would know. I've never seen the movie.
Have you not seen it?
I have, brother. I just told you I've seen it a bunch. I was kidding.
Well, no, not that I would hold you to know.
Would Ricky Baker be coaching in this college football playoff?
Now we're talking. Probably not because he's an SC guy.
I'm leaving all the Boys in the Hood talking, by the way.
Yeah, Heupel's an Oklahoma guy.
But look at it this way. Look at it this way. He's 15 years older than Deshaun Foster, who's the head coach of UCLA. So, try that on for size.
Trying it on for size. That seems like an exaggeration. 15 years older?
Yeah, I mean, Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood came out in 91. Deshaun Foster was playing in the Super Bowl in 2004.
So 13 years older. Deshaun Foster was just.
Well, that would mean he was in high school playing in the Super Bowl. So 10 years older.
He was 22 in 2004. Okay. So, and Ricky was 18 in 1990. Now I'm getting annoyed and confused. So.
Too much math here. Let's do some playoff picks, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Who wants to start this? How are we getting this going?
That is true. I do feel like if anybody else doesn't want to, I don't mind always starting the show. I will fall on that sword. I almost said Picard, but I don't know what I was trying to say there. Anyway, petard. What's the word? Anyway.
I can tell you, but it's not safe for work.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with the first round matchups, which I don't necessarily have too many. Yeah, I know that's a great place to start. I don't have too many upsets. I just have one, and the one is where it matters. But Ohio State over Tennessee, because every time I've watched Ohio State, stands for the Michigan game, which Scotty pointed out, play this year, I've seen a team that has looked really good. I know that Tennessee is good, but Ohio State to me is just on another level. I don't see Texas losing to Clemson. I don't see Indiana getting out of the first round. Like, I don't necessarily love Notre Dame too much, but I just haven't believed in the Indiana Magic all year long. Sorry, Scotty.
I think Scotty might have Indiana winning this whole thing. I don't want to ruin it, but I think that might be it.
The one that I honestly feel the best about on this first round, and I don't think I'm alone, is SMU over Penn State. For some reason, to me, I get it. Penn State, one of the most winningest programs in all of college football history, 900 plus wins. But
that's the one he feels best about.
A James Franklin led team is 4-5 in bowl games, man.
So that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't like him either like that.
This is a team that is known for being able to win it all. But when was the last time they won it all? When LeVar Arrington was a linebacker?
Before that.
I was going to say before that, 80s.
Exactly. It's been a while. So until, and I hate to do this because there's other teams in here that I guess haven't necessarily shown it either, but I never buy into the Penn State hype. Are they a good team? Yes. But are they a team that can hang with and beat SMU? Yeah, probably so. But I also don't think they've been tested too much this year. So they could be underestimating SMU when they roll into Happy Valley. I get it. It's a bigger, better place. The whiteout there is, when you see them play some of these teams, it can be fear instilling in a way or something.
It didn't help against Ohio State.
That's true. But it's a big time atmosphere. Yeah. And I don't want to knock the home crowd. I just don't think that Penn State is giving SMU their due. So,
it's almost 3 times the size of SMU's home stadium, I think. I mean, like it's a whole nother league from SMU's stadium.
It is.
And put a damn logo on your uniform.
I like
weirdos, man. Teams that don't put logos on the uniform do not do well in big bowl games. We're looking at them. We're looking at you.
Like Alabama?
Yeah, exactly. They're not even in this thing, Pete.
They have numbers at least. That's the win for them. In the next round, I think Oregon has been the best team in college football all year long. So I think that it's a close game. They find a way to get rid of Ohio State. I'm excited that Arizona State made it. I just trust Texas pedigree a little bit more. They're going to lose eventually because they never have it in them to make it past that. On the other side of the ball, just like I don't necessarily believe in Indiana, I don't believe in Notre Dame that much more. Georgia is a legacy team here who knows how to win in the playoff. I expect them to do it again. And then in the battles of, Boise and SMU, I think that'll be a fun matchup, but I have Boise. The thing where it shakes up again is I think that Boise shows that they belong in the college football playoff and they're able to beat Georgia in the semifinals. And we get a rematch of our finals this year from a game that I believe was either week 2, week 3, where Oregon got a 3-point win over Boise State. And I think it's another close win in Oregon, or another close game and Oregon gets the win.
Oh, go back. Go back. Put your back up. So you've got Boise State in the final.
I do.
Okay. I mean, was there nobody else going to call any attention to that?
I think the Georgia pick is worse. Who's playing quarterback for Georgia?
That's the question right now. But I think...
Although I have Georgia going just as far. If we're
just wait till you see Pete's bracket, Cam.
I had a feeling. Yes, I'll take a Boise State matchup though. Boise State, Oregon. I think that's awesome.
I think they show they belong a bit. I think that they have spent all year long being told of how, we shouldn't be a top 4 team. Also, you have Ashton Genty probably want to be on maybe I should have won the Heisman kind of revenge tour too in the playoff.
He's got
What's
that
the perfect time
juice.
to show off, hey, I can run just as well as these other running backs. You don't think I did it against anybody? Watch me cut up Georgia.
I think Boise State has the easier side of the bracket, if we're being honest.
Oregon?
Because, again, Georgia, banged up. Notre Dame hates winning big bowl games. SMU, I like them. I've got them going far in my bracket, but they are an unknown, I would say, at this level. And Penn State hates winning big games. So Boise State, weirdly, has a much easier side when you look at the other side with Tennessee and or Ohio State, Arizona State, Texas. That's a tougher road for Oregon than it is for Boise State to get to the national championship game, I think.
Yeah.
So now Georgia is pretty friggin' good outside of quarterback. I will admit that, but
I think my fear for Ashton Genty is against a team like Georgia, there's just nowhere for him to go. Very quickly we find out that he's gonna, and it's not really.
What are you doing against Oregon though?
It's not. look, and good for him.
Georgia's front is monster.
Georgia is. I'm just talking about that, like sideline to sideline SEC speed. That's just that Georgia has shown us in the past can help them win championships. I don't know. I think that they can make them look pedestrian. I really do. Like when your team is built around a running back and that running back doesn't have anywhere to run, you're fucked.
I'm just not convinced, Pete. I'm just not convinced that Georgia's front is head and shoulders better than Oregon's. It is better. It is probably the best. Georgia and Texas probably have the two best defensive fronts in this tournament. But
25 carries, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns against
Oregon. Right. I mean, that's
nothing. Nothing.
Scotty, I didn't even know you, by the way, when that game took place. It was a while ago.
That's true.
I do want to say that.
It's a good
like
point.
that was a long time ago. Like, lest anyone think that was a playoff game, I'll be the first to tell you it was not. And it was a great time to catch a team like Oregon sleeping. They're like Boise State ain't catching anybody napping. I'm just like the expectation of playing Boise State now is you're going to be playing a very good team. So, but again, we'll see what happens. That's why we play the games. I'm super excited for it.
All right, Zach's got Oregon.
Experience.
Who's up next?
Go ahead, Cam. You've been fucking talking.
You want me to do it? All right. Let's go.
Before we see Cam's bracket, since I put the graphics together, what I like about all 4 of these, we all 4 have a different championship game.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome. So before Cam's even goes up on the screen, I really like that all 4 of us have a different championship game in the final.
It shows that
we have a couple common champions, though. Can we get my bracket up on the board here? Here we go. Look at this beauty. Yep. SMU, my dark horse, my dark pony, if you will, my dark Mustang, all the way to the national championship game. I love that matchup with Penn State right away, just because I think Penn State's frauds. They're always frauds. They've been frauds for a long time. Their last national championship winning coach is dead and shamed. It's been that long, okay? It's been a long time since Penn State has played in some big time, like I'm talking championship level bowl games. Now you could say it's been about the same amount of time since SMU has played in any kind of real bowl game, and that's true. But I love the run that this SMU team is on. In fact, I would say SMU, you say Boise State, nobody's napping on them. They might be napping on SMU, which is wild. The team that went to a Power 4 conference championship game. They're going to sneak up on some teams. I like the ponies getting all the way there because Georgia just don't know who's playing quarterback. I give them the edge over Notre Dame because, again, like Penn State, Notre Dame hates winning big bowl games. So I'm taking the dogs in that one. On the other side of the bracket, the most convincing one in the first round for me is that 5-12, which you always pick the 12 over 5 in basketball. But I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Texas is going to kick the crap out of Clemson. I think they're so much better than them all across the field. I sneaky really like this Tennessee team all season long. I actually don't think they've gotten enough credit because they haven't had some of them like enough marquee wins that you would be like, this is the cream of the crop in the SEC. But we heard about Ole Miss and how great Ole Miss was all season long. Tennessee had a better offense, had a better team all season long. And they're just kind of sauntering into Columbus with a program that is like all the fans are ready to ditch their head coach. I just saw a dreadful performance against Michigan. And if they play anywhere like they played against Michigan, there's no shot against Tennessee. No shot. I like this Arizona State Texas matchup. I like the Sun Devils team. I think that's going to be really close, but I think Texas just has a little bit more quality. And Oregon speaks for itself. I know it's boring. I got an 11 seed in the championship, but a 1 seed winning it. I just think Oregon is the best team in college football, and I mainly picked them because I really didn't want to pick Texas. There you go.
Yep. So wait, 2 brackets down, 2 Oregon national title wins.
Yeah, baby. It's almost like they're highly rated.
I know. Wow, like they've been first in the nation.
And it will be funny for some of the fanatical OU fans out there who drove away Dylan Gabriel so they can get Jackson Arnold in there. And Dylan Gabriel, who was one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year, it's not like he was a bum, is going to win the national championship. And Jackson Arnold leaves in shame 1 year later, crawling out to Auburn to hopefully save his career. And Dylan Gabriel at like 26 years old is going to win the national championship. Good for him.
Cam, can I just ask, like,
Novosad national champion. Yeah.
I like the SMU kind of sleeper pick to make it to the title game. I do see why you might pick them in any one of those matchups. I think believing they're going to win all 3 in a row to get there is a pretty big swing.
That's the tough part.
Can you talk a little more about what led you to pick them to win 3 in a row to get there?
I mean, honestly, you want the honest answer? I can't expound on it too much. I believe in the pony magic. I really like Kevin Jennings, their quarterback, and it's kind of the same thing that we were saying about Boise State.
This is
last
great,
time.
Scotty. You got him taking his hat off and shit. He's scrambling here talking.
Because I mean, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you the name of Boise State's quarterback. I have no idea. I know one player on their team.
I also don't know Boise State.
I've seen them play like 3 games. Okay, that's more than most people. But I couldn't tell you Boise State's quarterback. I think if SMU goes into State College and beats Penn State, they can win a Fiesta Bowl against Boise State, and that's not an easy thing to do. Go ask Oklahoma that. And then Georgia, I just don't know. I don't know who's playing quarterback. And I know.
Can I tell you? It's Gunnar Stockton.
I know his name, Pete.
Yeah. Well, and here. Let me.
And they had a nice. By the way, they had a nice rally. I mean, Gunnar Stockton comes in and they do win that game against Texas, right?
Well, this isn't William and Mary. Like the guy playing behind your starting quarterback is going to be like a 4 or 5 star stud. It's kind of like, in my opinion, like Cardell Jones when Ohio State won a championship 10 years ago. Like those were his first 3 starts. I think Georgia, I don't need your confirmation, Cam. I think Georgia is the kind of program and has the horses where I believe that it's not so much about the quarterback. That's just one thing to keep an eye on there.
That's why I've got them in the Final Four.
Okay. All right.
Maddox Madsen is the quarterback at Boise State.
That's right. He's got like 6 siblings that are all named after baseball players.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Greg Maddox. He's named after Greg Maddox.
And
right?
Murphy for Dale Murphy.
Yes.
And he's named after Greg Maddox.
Okay. Not Mike Maddox. Correct, Pete. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he might be named after Mike.
Barry Maddox. He played for the Phillies.
Yes. Yes. So that's, I mean, honestly, I don't have a great reason for putting SMU in the final. I don't. I'm believing in this dark magic that the ponies got going.
Okay.
But Boise State does worry me more than Georgia does in those matchups.
Okay.
Well,
be honest.
Cam, I ask about you getting SMU to the final because I did something fairly similar.
Uh-oh.
So you upset Pete so much you left.
Yeah, so shocking that Pete had to get up and refill his water there. Throw up my bracket, Zach.
All right.
Guys, this is This is so easy for me.
Have him winning it all.
I gotta be honest. So here's the deal. I almost picked straight dogs in the first round. I almost did it. Because Penn State, Texas, and Ohio State, I just don't believe in any of them. I think Tennessee over Ohio State, I have the most conviction about in the first round. I think Tennessee has every piece they need to win that football game, and traveling to Columbus is not intimidating for them coming out of the SEC. I really think Tennessee is going to win that game. I feel very good about that. Texas over Clemson, I don't feel as good about. I like Clemson's head coach more. I like Clemson's quarterback more right now. Texas sticks with Ewers, but I think Texas' defense is just really good. They're just really, really good. Dude, I'm picking Indiana to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame hasn't beat anyone except Army.
It's true.
I think Indiana got their bell rung by Ohio State, and I am choosing to believe that was a lesson they needed that they can turn into.
Wait. So Notre Dame hasn't beaten anybody, but who has Indiana beaten?
That's a tremendous point, Cam.
And like I don't mind the pick, but
I think the game being in state is helpful. I think, like some of these other road matchups, like I can see why SMU beating Penn State sounds egregious for where they're having to travel and play that football game. But I just like, and here's the thing, like at the end of the day with Indiana, sometimes when I can't pick, like, do I like your quarterback and do I like your coach? I think Indiana has the second best quarterback in this playoff behind Dylan Gabriel with Curtis Rourke. And I think I like Coach Sig. I don't think they're going to make the same mistakes twice. I don't think they're going to go in unprepared and look bad like they did against Ohio State. So I've got Indiana beating Notre Dame, SMU beating Penn State. We're 3 for 3 with that pick now. With those of us who have gone, I think similarly, you saw SMU in that first half against Clemson have a wake-up call of what a big game is like. They figured it out. They were the better team in the second half. I don't think they come in and get shell-shocked again in a big environment. I like Cam. I like Jennings a lot to play well in that game. And I don't believe in Penn State. This is more about me saying I think Penn State and Ohio State are a little bit fraudulent than anything else, and Notre Dame. Second round, I think it's just hard to pick against Oregon right now. I'm picking Indiana over Georgia in part because I want it. And in part, I also just don't believe in Gunnar Stockton, Pete. I'm sorry. I don't. I haven't seen it. I think Indiana has the better quarterback in that game. I think SMU versus Boise State could be the sleeper, just epic game there that is a ultimate shootout, like a lot of fun. I take the Ponies because, again, of the quarterback. And then I actually feel very strongly about this. I feel almost strongly about this pick as I feel about Tennessee beating Ohio State. Arizona State is going to win their first game, regardless of who comes out of the first round. Like, everybody's sleeping on this team. They obliterated Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game. It wasn't close. I know Pete already said that you can't ride with a running back over a good defense. And I will admit, if Texas can figure out how to stop Cam Skattebo, it's a little frightening. But at a neutral site, I think Texas hasn't scored more than 20 points, 4 out of the last 6 games. I like Arizona State to win that game in an upset. But not to beat Oregon, no shot. And then in the matchup of the dogs, the Cinderellas, give me Indiana, better quarterback, better coach. And then it honestly might be a little bit of a sad title game. I think Oregon matches up really well against Indiana, but that's how I have it playing out. I know I've been memed a little bit on this program for riding with Indiana a little bit this season. So I got to stick with it, man. I think they make a really strong statement. And here's what I want, guys. This is ultimately what I want. Give me a Final Four without the SEC after all this chatter in national sports media. That would just make my year. It would make me so happy. So,
by the way, the point on Arizona State, if you are one of those guys who's riding momentum and who the hottest teams are in this tournament, it's Boise State, Oregon, Arizona State.
Yeah, but I think I totally
Those
agree
are
with
the
you.
three hottest.
I totally agree with you, but I am a true believer that the bye, as great as it is, and you wouldn't want to give it back, I think it cuts into a lot of that momentum. I really do but I guess now I'm thinking out loud, I guess everybody has had an elongated period of time off. So this is a unique situation.
Well, and here's what I like about Arizona State. There are Big 12 teams that would not match up well with Texas. There's plenty of them. But I think Arizona State plays with a physicality and an edge that I'm not going to say it's Georgia level, but it is more similar to an SEC team than Colorado, if that was a different Big 12 team in that game. So I really like the way Arizona State matches up with Texas there.
I agree.
Pete.
I feel like I know one of the picks for sure, and I just have one question to ask before I put Pete's bracket up here. How much shit do you think he's going to give us when Penn State beats SMU in the first round?
For me, I'm not going to give you a lot of shit, but I believe that that's exactly how it's going to go down. I am sticking to the home field, I think, and the climate is really going to play a huge role in these games. I even think that's why SMU really has more of a puncher's chance than some of these other teams, like let's say Tennessee, because like that game's going to be at 11 in the morning. Like I think it will be like sunny. So even if it's like 25, 30 degrees, like you still have a nice football environment. Those night games, like I think Tennessee is in big time trouble. And another thing too, you see, I have Ryan Day in Ohio State beating Oregon. I'm really ready. I didn't feel strongly enough to put him over Arizona State because I kind of agree with Arizona State being on a run. And I love the way that Sam Levitt's playing coming into this playoff, and what Cam Scatteraboo is doing is unbelievable. And they have receivers that can step up, like Xavier Guillory is one of them in the absence of Jordan Tyson. Like I believe that they have the horses, right? But I'm like, I feel like Ohio State really has something to play for. Like they have like a chip on their shoulder now. It's almost like the motivation they needed. Like they're talking about firing Ryan Day. Like that shit makes me so frustrated. I was looking at Ryan Day's schedule, or he hasn't lost more than 2 games in a season in his career. Like, and he unfortunately a lot of them come to Michigan. So it's like, oh,
can't underrate that. Can't underrate that. It almost got Harbaugh fired.
Yeah, it's great, but it doesn't make it any less ridiculous, right? Like I understand that that's the reality, but I think it's the dumbest shit in the world. And what did Harbaugh do? He won a national championship.
That should have been your first point, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So I think Ryan Day makes a run, and I think that run includes beating Oregon State. I think that Clemson. I'm with Scotty. Like when Scotty said about the dogs in the first round, like. I feel strongly about Clemson beating Texas, and I feel strongly about Indiana beating Notre Dame. I feel like Notre Dame, it's weird. I feel like if they drawn almost any of these other road teams, they would have won. But Indiana is the one you just don't want to see. And I feel like they're kind of in party mode too. Notre Dame, like they're happy to be in the playoff. Marcus Freeman got an extension. I just
all these hype videos.
Yeah, I could see him getting smacked in the mouth. I truly could. You can't slap Cam now, though, because he has a fucking football helmet on.
Come and try me, bitch.
I think they run into Georgia. I think Georgia shuts them down, and I talked a little bit about that. I think our boy Gunner steps in, and I think that we get a reminder of why these programs are what they are because they're so deep. And I like my little Cardell Jones comparison. I think like this, and he showed us something in that SEC championship game. So I think that he can facilitate really taking them to the championship. I think that Penn State, to you guys, right? You see that as everybody has Penn State losing except for me. I have them going into that Final Four, or they'll lose to Georgia. I think Penn State's good enough. You're not asking Penn State to reinvent the wheel by beating SMU and Boise State on back-to-back weeks. So I think it's a doable task. I'm not ready to, this isn't a coronation.
I just want to get on the record of saying I feel very strongly that even if they beat SMU, I do not think they can beat Boise. Like I would pick Boise 10 out of 10 times in that game. Me personally.
I think I'm probably backing Scotty on that,
especially at a neutral site. That's just how I feel about it.
I think you guys are going to be really disappointed. I do. I really do. That's just, I think like the Sandman is coming for Boise State and for SMU. I just do, because here's what I'll say about this. And this is the first time we've had an opportunity to experience this, like a college football playoff, right? This is not college basketball. And what I mean by that is like, you can't like get lucky and get hot and bury like 33s and upset the best team in the country, if you're in like the Final 8, right? Because obviously if you're in the Final 8, you're a pretty good team to begin with. With football, I just think like the physicality is so much deeper. And I think like we're talking about boys and men. And I don't want to say that. Sounds like that's a douchey thing to say. But I just feel like these guys are bigger, stronger, and faster. And guys at Penn State and guys at Georgia. And I think they might overwhelm Boise State. Go ahead, Zach, with your little finger.
That, but I would just say that where do most of the upsets happen in the NCAA tournament too? It's usually your first round there. It is those matchups like SMU coming into Penn State where they might not be ready for. In their minds, they're preparing for, hey, we got Boise State next week.
Yeah.
You know, things like that can still happen there. Like, sure, later on.
Yeah.
I get the point about obviously not being able to get on the same kind of hot streak.
And honestly, like I also, to your point, like, you know, scheming for some of these schools is going to be a huge deal. Like if it is a closer game, like what does SMU have in their bag of tricks? Like, will they have a fucking flea flicker that they run and totally catch Penn State with their pants down, or do something like UNLV did the other night? Like,
dude, Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Statue of Liberty.
That's freaky.
Yeah, it's going to be fun as shit. This is just, but this is like these are my opinions. Like, and I don't want to be that guy, dude. I was raised on the underdog. Like, I love seeing the excitement, but I think until you show me in a
his reputation's too important.
I think until you show me in a college football playoff that some of these dogs can make a run and sustain that run in the playoffs, like I'm going to go with history and what I know.
So Pete, I have a question.
Wait, did you forget the Cardell Jones argument you just made like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, but he was playing for Ohio State.
But they were the 4 seed. They shouldn't have even been in. Baylor should have been in.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about the creme de la creme. We're talking now about a 12-team playoff.
Didn't Zeke have some awesome games there too?
Zeke did have some awesome games.
Yeah.
Pete, I have a question because you just went on this tirade about the traditional powers, and you also went on a tirade earlier that one running back can't beat a more physical team, and yet you've got Arizona State in the final. So you are riding with a Cinderella.
I believe in Sam Levin.
Cinderella, and you're saying they're going to beat Ohio State, which is completely counter to everything you just said about big program versus small program.
Okay, look.
One more thing about Sam
Levin. I saved myself a little wiggle room here for Arizona State.
Arizona State. Why?
And I don't have him winning the championship. I do have him in the title game, but I believe Arizona State is. Like the way that they beat the shit out of Iowa State, like to me that was a statement, and the same reason they got a bye is the same reason that I believe in them, and I think that there is a significant drop off when you go to the Mountain West. I hate to be the fucking Paul Feinbaum of the conversation, but I really do believe if you put Boise State in the Big 12, that they'd be like 500. I do believe that. I truly do.
Shut up, Big 12.
But so here's my takeaway, though. All 4 of us have a Cinderella in the final.
Yeah, because we can't help ourselves.
Because Cinderella's hot, man.
Like Arizona State being the 4 seed, everyone's complained all the last 3 weeks that they're the 4 seed when they're ranked 12th. Like we've all got you just have Arizona State instead of we've got someone from the other side.
Yeah.
But we've all got a Cinderella in the final.
Arizona State, Boise, SMU, and Indiana.
Merry Christmas.
What's at stake here?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The national championship?
Yeah, if whoever wins the whole tournament.
I'm down to put a stake on this to who has the best bracket.
Yeah.
I'm down for it too. I have no clue what we'll do, but sure.
This is good. This is good YouTube right here. We're making it up on the fly.
We'll come up with something, but yeah, I would like to make it interesting.
Okay. We'll do that. Gives me reason to keep up with some of these games.
But we have to decide before tonight because Indiana Notre Dame play tonight.
Look, I'm ready to decide right the fuck now. I mean, if it's $20 a person, I don't care. If it's $50, whatever. I mean, you let me know.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out for tonight. All right, let's somebody close this out so we can end this segment.
Yeah, go ahead. You close it out.
Bye.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. We are Rogue Media Sports.